Morning, Tom.
You're live on YouTube. You can start when you're ready.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to the July 14th, 2021 meeting of the Design Review Committee. It's now, let's see, 8:07 a.m. My name is Amy Koretsky, Chair of the Design Review Committee. This is actually my first meeting on the Design Review Committee, so please bear with me. This is an open meeting of the Design Review Committee, and it's being conducted remotely, consistent with the Governor Baker's Executive Order of June 16, 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. All members of the Design Review Committee are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows the Design Review Committee to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to the Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Just to note, the Design Review Committee is a committee that works to preserve historical land uses and structures and to promote architectural and ecological considerations for the betterment of the community. The design review process is intended to provide guidance to the proponent in the development of the site and design of the building. We consist of 5 members, 1 resident seat, 1 planning board seat, 2 architects, and a landscape architect. I'd like to confirm that all the members have access to this meeting. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Lisa Maselli? Is Lisa here?
Here.
Tom Reardon?
Tom, you're on mute. Still on mute.
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Diana Nicholas?
Here.
And Dave Varon?
Here.
Thank you, staff. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Kathy Schubert
Here.
and Bob Federico.
Here.
Amy, can I, just before you start, the Asidio or Carlos, is Paul Clough, your attorney, coming?
I'm Carlos and I'm present to the meeting. I'm gonna be presenting the plan.
Okay, so Paul, I mean, we just want to make sure that we let him in if he's trying to get in.
No, he's not coming.
Okay, okay. All right, thanks, Amy. I just wanted to make sure that all the
Sure.
applicants were.
Sure, no problem. I just want to finish this statement. The meeting of the business ground rules was next. The chair will cover the ground rules for effective and clear conduct of the meeting business as follows. For presenters and or applicants listed on the agenda, the chair will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name. Actually, they're already here. Participants will provide their full name and hold until their name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them by the chair. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through the chair, taking care to identify themselves. Each vote taken by the board or committee will be conducted by roll call vote. All members are now present and we will start the meeting. The hour is now 8:12. Okay, our first applicant on the agenda is, would it be JJCL Enterprises of 172 Barefoot? and they have a request to redesign buildings. These buildings were part of a 2018 application that was submitted by Stephen McDonald Construction. As I understand it, today we will only be discussing the elevation of the buildings and the colors. It is also my understanding that there may be a filing of a revised application and request an amendment to the 2018 decision. And I just want to ask Kathy, did they receive a checklist of what will be required for both processes?
Did you say that they're waiving their,
No, they'll be filing a revised application possibly is what I read.
yes, they'll be filing, a revised application. Yeah, every applicant, every engineer, every attorney that we go, that we meet with, receives all of that material. It's all posted online. We refer people to it. We don't hand out paper copies anymore. We don't even have them in the office. It's all done electronically. So every applicant receives all of that information well in advance.
So they receive a copy of the design review guidelines and the checklist?
Yep. It's all posted online. Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody, this is my first meeting as chair, and I just want to make sure they were aware of what we look for. Okay, so I'd like to welcome Cydia Mora and Carlos Vieira. And I think Carlos mentioned he'd be presenting. So you now have the floor to present. Thank you.
Right. Yes. So Cydia and Luciano, they purchased the property about like a year ago. And they've been like seeking permits for the project. And I guess like there was like a misunderstanding on their part that we were just gonna, keep like the same dimension of the building. And we were not sort of paying much attention to like the design review decision, which had like a different layout, different looks for the building on the outside. The building, they went ahead when they started the process and they purchased like a metal building that has like the same footprint. We're not changing site plan, we're not changing landscaping, we're not changing anything. It's just that they purchased a building that's like a little bit different than that one, which is a shed roof. Their building, which is the one from Olympia, is a shed roof. And the other thing that I was like paying, that I was noticing on this plans is their building. It's not as tall as this one. This building has, if you look at the elevation, let me open mine in here, can read that one. But the shed building has like on the front, like 16 feet. Yeah, they have like the same, like 16, but it's just that on the eve of this building, I mean, we're gonna be like about like 18 feet. In the previous building, the elevation on the back of the building is like 20. It's about like 22 feet.
Is that here, Carlos?
So,
Sorry.
Carlos, if I can just
Yes.
interject here, just because it's been 3 years or so that anyone has looked at this plan, and two of the members, actually Amy was on the planning board when this came through, but Lisa wasn't on the design review committee at the time. So this is brand new as far as design review, but what you have, this proposal in front of you, this is what was approved.
Yeah, this was what approved.
Just to remind everybody. So this is I guess you'd call it a shed roof design. But this is, there's two buildings on the site. They're going to be used as, locations for contractors, small businesses. And then after it was first approved, then an applicant came in to seek a variance, not anything about the design, but they were going to install a gym in the building that's going to be closest to Barefoot Road. And then so that was approved, but that never happened. And so the site has sat vacant, since, well, certainly before 2018, but I'm not exactly sure when it changed hands from Steve McDonald to New England Construction, but I just wanted to make sure everyone is aware that what you're looking at is what was approved design-wise.
Yeah, and then again, I mean, the height of this proposed building, it was like 16 foot, like in the front, and then like about like 4 feet for the concrete wall. So the whole front of the building was like 20 feet, and the back of the building is 24 feet. I mean, I don't know if like height, I mean, I don't know what was the concerns when like this building was approved. I'm just pointing it out, like the difference between our proposal and this proposal. Our building is just gonna basically have like the 16 foot in the front, and at the eave, we're gonna be like about 20 feet. So we're gonna be like substantially lower than this proposed building. And I guess I have like I prepare like a little elevation. Can I share that? It's like as a picture. Can I share that information?
Yes, yep.
Let me see, share screen. Is this one. So like this was like, it's just like a rendering that we prepared, like looking from the street, like from the building. So the site has like a little gentle slope on it. So looking, if you're driving on forgot the name of the street, Barefoot. If you're driving on Barefoot and you look it to the right, that would be like the look of the building. The building that was originally approved, it was like a shed building. I think like he had like less doors. I mean, he had like only 3 doors. I mean, when the guy that prepared the proposal for me did like a similar proposal that what we have, but he had like 3 doors. And then there was the 2 buildings, and the color was gray and the trim was blue. That was what approved. What our proposal is, the building is going to look like this. The buildings are going to be blue. The trim work is going to be gray, and we have like 4 large doors and 1 small door, because I mean, we're proposing that the applicant is proposing to have an office on the back of the building. But essentially, it's the same dimension, same location, and everything else that was on the site plan be maintained. Just that we purchased a different building.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So let me unshare now, stop share. All right.
All right. Diana and Tom, did you have a chance to look at the building? Do you have any comments? Or does anybody have any comments?
I have some comments.
Sure.
I mean, I think this is the standard for a prefabricated building. And it's something I think, we've seen in the industrial zone before. I don't have a strong feeling on the colors either way. I appreciate that there's some color. I like the blues in either case. I was wondering how tall the doors are, which is probably on the elevation. Okay, so they're like 12 feet, or sorry, 14 feet. I mean, this is a little bit different than some of the other buildings of this type that we've looked at closer to the center of town. So, I think it's appropriate for what they need. And, there's not a lot of architectural context that we're responding to in that area.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any comments?
Amy,
Sure.
through the chair. Because I've not seen this before, and I did try to do some research on it, I'm a bit confused. Are we making the building smaller and we're changing the color? Is that what I understand?
No, I mean, we just changed the roof layout on the building. What was you guys approved, it was a shed roof. And what we purchased, because I mean, the applicant already owned that building, is waiting for permits to install it. It's a gable roof. That was the only difference. The dimensions are the same.
All right. And I don't see a landscape plan. I did look through that. Are the doors going to be white as shown in the photograph, or is that just because of the layout?
I think like the color, all the trim work's gonna be gray.
So
It's,
the doors are also considered the color of the trim work, so it would be gray doors with a blue building?
Yes.
And the gray is a light gray or a dark gray?
Do you have, like, CJ, do you have like that sheet that has the colors? I think
We
like there's a
didn't buy the
color.
doors yet, but
Oh.
it's gonna be white or light gray.
I'm sorry, say again?
We didn't buy the doors yet, but the color is gonna be white or light gray.
All right, well, one of the design review requests are not to have these big white doors
Okay,
and big contrasts on them. We've had another building that was just across the street where we made the doors the same color as the walls, as a matter of fact, just to kind of make that blend.
so we can do light gray, the same color as the trim.
So, and I'm looking at a 1625 gray on the note, but I don't have a color sample of 1625. So is that light or is that dark? Is it like charcoal or is it like,
It's light,
closer to white?
it's
say again.
light,
It's light.
yes.
All right, so you're gonna pretty much have the same look. And what have we done about the landscaping? How are they going to, are you gonna have the trees? What are you gonna do with it? I don't see anything here.
Lisa, if I can just interject on that, all of that was already approved in 2018 by the planning board. So none of that is changing. So the lighting, the landscaping, the drainage, everything having to do with the site plan is not changing.
Well, yes, but as you say, I haven't seen it. It would be nice to know what was going on with that.
I thought I had sent, when Amy requested a copy of the former site plans, I thought that I had sent that to everybody.
Yeah.
So I'll send that to you after the meeting. But
All right.
you know, that's all been approved in, like I said, in 2018.
I just had a question, Kathy, and I thought I saw it in an email something. The old application had gravel in front of the building. Is that still going to be there? Or I thought I saw a note from Fred that there wasn't going to be gravel in front of the buildings.
No, they're going to be paved, both buildings. There's one driveway going up if you're standing in the road looking at the site, it's going up on the right-hand side. And then, you know, there'll be a driveway that runs parallel to Barefoot Road for each building.
There is a landscape plan, is actually on page 2 of that site plan. That's part of the package.
Part of the recent package?
Yeah, if you go to, no, the other one, the original plan that you had, I think it was like Barefoot Garage plan. No, not that one. The approved,
Maybe 2018 application, no?
yeah, the 2018 application.
Oh, the application itself. Which I have somewhere.
I saw that you had that plan
I did
open.
have the application open, didn't
I have it on my screen. I can share that.
Great.
I? Okay, sorry. I think I do have it, but I'm not, if you have it up, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, so it's like this one. This was like the original application for the site plan that has like the grading. And then on page 2, there was a proposal for, so like there's a driveway in here and then proposing like some,
Carlos, it's not showing. If-
oh,
if
no,
you're-
show me. Share screen, oh, here. This one, can you see now?
Yes.
Like, this was like, the site plan has like, has the lighting layout on it, and then in here, they're proposing in the front of the building, 10 green giant arborvitae, on the side, like 6 green giant arborvitae, 5 giant arborvitae, and then 6 Cleveland pear. That was like what was approved for landscaping. On the front of the building, there is like the area for the septic system. And then this is the layout of the building, and basically there's parking spaces in front of each building.
And I saw something about driving through the building when I was reading it. Is that correct?
No, there's a difference in grade in here. See, like when you like the pad in front of the building is 320, on the back of the building, like the building up on top of is like 332. So there's like a 12-foot difference in elevation for each pad. So I mean, you're only gonna have like the garage is on the front and then park on it, and there'll be like a little bit of a slope on the back of the building.
Okay. So there's only garage doors on one side of the building, not both.
Yes.
Good. All right.
Which was like basically is gonna have like this particular look.
Mhm.
So like probably you're only gonna see, when you're directly in front of the buildings, you're basically gonna see just one building. You know, like eventually we're gonna have trees covering the sides in here, but because the front building almost like covered the majority of the back building.
And just a side question, did you already, is this a kit you've already purchased to install, or are you going to buy this kit to install?
There was like the rookie mistake from like the people, the buyers, the developers for the land. Before even they got like a building permit, there was an opportunity at the time, and this was a kit. It's usually you buy these buildings like in kits, and they bought the land, and right after they purchased a building. So that was the issue that we're requesting, is something that they already own. That's why we here requesting like the change on it.
All right. So that was part of your purchase, was to get the materials in this kit.
No,
to go
no,
on
no.
this
It was
land.
just that, you know, like this is like their first development. They got overexcited. They bought the land, and then they were talking to someone. Luciano had like some contacts with like the industry of people that sell this stuff. And the guy called him, like say, hey, I got a great opportunity. He bought the building, didn't pay attention to like whatever the approved colors and the layout of the building. Once we went to apply for the building permit, we got into the issues that we currently have.
I see. Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
A question for Kathy. That landscape design was different than the one that I have printed out. Actually, Carlos, what's the date at the bottom of that page
Um,
on the plan?
December
the
15th,
one,
2000.
December 15, 2017.
Okay, that's what I have, but I have a different landscape plan. It's not totally different, it's just somewhat different. So if Kathy, if you have that exact one, if you can send it to me after.
I printed you the whole site plan packet, Amy.
I do, I have it. It's different though. I'll show you offline.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think I have another set of drawings. We just have one, the set that was approved.
Mine says 5 green giant arborvitae where his said 6. He had more trees, which I actually like the plan better. The original plan I have has less trees.
There's 5 in the back, on the left upper side. Is that what you're looking at, Amy?
Yeah, Carlos, if you can bring that back up again.
And then there's 6, you know, on the western
Yeah.
side, closest to the,
Yeah, there was 5 here on the back,
Yep.
and
then
then 6 out
6 here on the front, and then
10.
10 on the front of the building, and then 6 Cleveland Pier on the sides.
I can run it by later, Kathy. Mine just says 5 on the left where it says 6. It's weird. It's different.
Okay,
I'm actually looking at that printout that I received yesterday too. And on page 4, dated 9/14/2020, the side of the building shows a brick facade going up halfway to the windows and door. Is that correct? Let me see if I can. Yep, it's got Carlo's name on it. It says 9/14/2020, elevations, New England construction. Sheet page 4 or P4.
yeah, that's the set that Cydia had sent us. So Carlos, has that changed since? There it is.
No,
Okay, so, oh,
what happened in this is like, because there's a slight change in grade in here. So like the building, the grade is like this, and on the back of the building, the slope is gonna be like something like this,
yes,
and then you go back to this, and then, oops. So the back
That's
of the building.
concrete block, right? That's not brick.
Yeah, it's concrete block that we're gonna have on the side of the building, but half of it is gonna be probably buried.
all right. So that's
Well,
just
usually-
concrete.
Yeah, we
block.
do like the foundation like 4 feet underground, and then to create like this, the building keeps like the same height. It's just that on the side, so it's not like against the floor in here because of the difference in grade. We're gonna do like a little CMU wall in here, and then the metal starts above it. But on the
All right,
front of
and
the
then-
building, we're not gonna have that.
So Carlos, why would you use concrete block rather than just a poured foundation?
I mean, I guess like it can be either or. We can do like concrete foundation. It was,
Well, in
Uh,
terms of structure and moisture, you don't want to use block and then bury it. I mean, it's much simpler and a better product if you pour the concrete and adjust your grade accordingly. The concrete block is going to be more costly and not the same quality. I mean, you could certainly do it, but it's not recommended.
I agree with that.
Also, one less trade. I mean, if you have another company comes in, but still, it may be cost effective to also use the concrete.
certainly
But I
changed
agree.
that.
So what is the material on the roof?
It's all the same, I think,
Standing metal?
yeah, it's the metal, like the roof, I think is like they call it 24 gauge super seam
Yeah.
Galvalume material.
All right, so you've drawn it as a shingle and
Yes, it was,
it's not,
no, I mean, it's gonna be like the same, it's just that we had to prepare like an architectural drawing for the building, but the layout is, it's all used like this.
yeah, I know, it's a package
Yeah.
building. So
Yep,
is the roof, you've purchased the walls and the steel frame? Have you purchased
Yes.
the roof material?
yes.
Is it blue or white?
Celia, I didn't participate in the purchase. Do you know like what was the color of the roof?
The color, Luciano. Hold on, just a second.
Next meeting.
He's gonna check here. I'm sorry.
Tira aí, tira do negócio. Como é que eu gosto de...
So I understand this is an industrial building in an industrial zone, but that is purely a utilitarian structure, and they're never very attractive because there's no detail, there's nothing to give the public any relief. It's just metal. So I know you've already purchased it, but it's too bad for Northborough. We continue to get these basic utilitarian structures when there's so much more available out there at the same price point. So I would just recommend if you do additional structures in the future, please come to the design review committee before you purchase a building so you can get some feedback and you can make a better offering to the town, because the town is ultimately the consumer of the architecture here. And this is bare bones, minimalist, purely utilitarian, and it's hard to look at.
I concur with Tom.
It's a done deal. I mean, you've already purchased the structure. It really doesn't give us much to review.
And I think, I don't know that the blue is the best choice. It certainly makes it very much more apparent. Maybe it could be in a color that blends in a little bit more with the landscaping.
Yeah, Carlos, didn't you mention when we had met in-house that the building could be painted?
We can certainly paint, I mean, we can certainly paint the building. It's an additional expense, but yes, we can paint or, I mean, we were gonna try to do is talk to the manufacturer, see if we could exchange the panels for different panels with a different color. Or worst case scenario, if that could not happen, is paint the building.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
While they're looking for the roof color, I was just wondering, is there any idea, will there be a sign out front?
Do you guys see, do you plan to put like a sign of any kind in front?
Peraí, você vai falar agora. Não.
Yes, we're planning to install a sign of our company.
Olha.
Hey, Kathy, was that already all approved and done before? Or are we going over the whole thing and should really do this in a normal way that we normally go through a site plan review?
Well, like I said, nothing else, nothing on the site plan is changing as far as, again, landscaping, lighting. At least that's, when we had an in-house meeting with the applicants, that's what they indicated. They are staying with the approved site plan. But what's changing is, the pitch of the roof and the colors. So that, and also too, I think, although in-house, we said that it was okay to go from 3 doors to 4. But I see 5 here. So I wanted to ask a question about that, whether it's 5 overhead doors that you're going to be doing, or 4, because I originally thought you were going from 3 to 4. But Dave, to answer your question, there wasn't a sign proposed at the time in 2018 when it was approved, because they didn't know who the tenants were going to be and how many tenants. Originally, just like with this applicant, the original owner thought that he was going to have one of the buildings and then was going to rent out or lease out the second building, but wasn't sure about a sign, so that wasn't part of the package. And that would have just gone, you know, through the building department for a sign permit.
Now, with the original owner, if I recall correctly, because this is many years ago, he was doing an inside shop just for woodworking, whatever, and then nothing storage outside, and then just moving everything off. We had minimal parking there because it was
Correct.
just him and a couple employees. That was it.
Correct.
Is
Correct.
the use changing here? Does that affect anything? Or what are we talking about? Because I have no idea really what they do, what they're proposing. I'm a little lost.
Yeah, I don't know what this
Or does
company
it not
does.
even matter?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Amy, you know, through the chair, you could ask them to explain what it is they're doing and, you know, are they planning on renting out? And which building are they taking? And are they planning on renting out the other building or?
Sure. Do you mind answering that question?
From what I understand, I'm not speaking, I mean, I'll let the owners speak out for that, but from what I understand, New England Construction, they are a site excavation company, so they have like a series of like trucks, pickup trucks, vans, small excavators and stuff like that. So the 4 large doors is like to, you know, put their equipment inside of the building. The reason for the 5th door is that on our site plan, I mean, they plan to have like a little small office on the back of the building. So it would be like probably like this door, it would be like for some sort of a pickup truck or like small storage on this area. It's just like a general building for it. They don't have, I mean, as I explained on the meeting, because I mean, they're not, you know, on the commercial arena, it's very hard to get like a financing for 2 buildings if you don't have tenants yet for either one. So the bank told them like, you know, like finish your building, get occupancy on your building, and then we discuss financing for the 2nd building. So that was the other, you know, thing that we need to get like a sort of a phasing, because we only have funds to build 1 building at a time, and we have like no tenants or no idea of like who is gonna come at the building at the back. We might have to come back. I mean, we don't even have a design for the building on the back. I mean, we can either do like something like similar to this thing in here, or come back to like 3 doors or something like that once we have like a tenant interest on the building. Celia, I mean, do you have any other comments that you want to add to this?
Yes, you're gonna do exactly like you said. The first build is just for ice, and the 2nd build, it's for storage. You're gonna rent for storage or maybe construction, same thing that we do.
Okay, thanks. So if I understand it, the first building, you showed the visual, but there'll only be 1 building in front to start.
Yes, right now it will be only 1 building. We don't have like anything like that for the 2nd building yet.
Okay, so will the road stop also, the driveway that you build? You'll only build, or you're gonna build the driveway to the back in preparation?
We're probably gonna do like the entire, you know, 100% of the site work because it makes more sense for that.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So the original the original drawings didn't have a sign, which is why I asked the question about the sign. So they're planning on putting a freestanding sign out front or something on the buildings?
Freestand, say it. Yes, a freestand sign.
Okay. So you have to go through the building.
Yeah, we need to, yeah, I know. And
Inspector.
just for our company name.
And just to, my name is Luciano. I'm a husband of Syria. So we live in Northborough. My business in Northborough, and this is why we try to keep to build this building in Northborough. We want to keep close of my house. I live in Howard Street. This is why we decide buy this property here.
Mhm.
Just to let you guys know. So right now I rent a garage and a land and behind of Zeco is West Main Street. And we really like to keep our business here. This is why the reason then we bought the land in Northborough. Just
Okay.
let you guys know and consider, you know. So pretty much we keep the same thing, we just the roof. The only thing that we discuss is about the roof and the colors and the doors, yes. So we didn't buy the doors yet. We decide after we knew that this problem, so we waiting for dimensions and color. So I don't know, we waiting for you guys decide what I need to do.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else on design review have any questions?
I have another one, Amy. If we've gone from 3 doors to 4 doors and now a 5th door, I am assuming that the building itself, dimensions did not change. We've just taken away some of the wall and added a door instead of. Is that correct?
Yes, I mean, the idea, like when you see like our proposal is just that is the same dimension, 100 feet by 40, which is what was on the site plan. It's just that before the other building, it was like sort of a rentable, you know, like it was trying to do like a rent space in here. So we had like 3 bays for rent, basically. And Luciano's proposal is that he wants to keep, he's just going to keep all for himself. So like we can, you know, he can park all his equipment inside of the building. And then we have the office, a bathroom for the office and a bathroom for the employees or whoever is working on site. The other door in here is just like the regular 8-foot doors, just so we can have like a little bit of use of this space. Otherwise, you know, if you have like a delivery or something like that, you don't need to open like the large doors. You can just stockpile whatever on this front bay.
I know this may be a crazy question, but could you turn the building so that those garage doors are facing the inside and the outside is not just looking at garage doors?
I think it is a great idea. It's just that the site, let me go to the, you know, like, as I said, like when you enter the street level in here is like 312.
Yeah.
And then you have like a little sort of a pad in here for like parking and stuff. And then, which is at elevation 320, the back of the building is 325. So it's like there's a 5-foot difference. And then for us, I mean, like, let's say, I mean, it would be like it can be done. Anything can be done. We could go out there and build like a retaining wall in here and have like the 2 doors like facing each other on the center, but it will require like a site plan change.
It also seems like you'd have to move the buildings closer to the street in order to accommodate that, so that you have the turning radiuses behind the
Yes.
building.
Yep. Yeah, I'll need to slide the building forward and then get like some more spacing between the 2 buildings.
Then you'd be fighting the site. You'd be going against the natural grade and having to use retaining walls, and more concrete would be exposed. I think that would be a mistake.
Yes.
You're terracing now. That's the best way of working with the land, with the natural grades. It's just that you have a substandard building in terms of design.
I mean, I think like we are open. I mean, these things are like so flexible, you know, like to make a change. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we can go out there and build like a, you know, to hide this roof in here, you know, build like a little parapet and get like something like interest. I mean, I think like we are open to, you know, I don't know, to make something a little bit more pleasant for it and hide like the shed roof and and create something like more interesting, you know?
Well, you should show the windows and doors that are on the side gable that are shown on your floor plan. You have an office with a side door and windows.
Yes, they're not
They're
in
not
here.
shown.
Yep,
It might be helpful if your doors had some glass in them, so they're just not blank color. But if the doors and the roof are a less bright white to go with you've already purchased the blue, correct?
yeah, the sidewalls are blue, yes.
Do you have to have 12-foot doors for whatever these doors are? Can they be a shorter door?
For trucks, I mean, they need to be 14 tall. He has like triaxle trucks, and that's what they're gonna put like inside of the building.
Well, if you get some vision panels, say 2/3 of the way up, get some natural light into your building, maybe put some additional windows. I know you might be concerned about security, but anything to give more detail to this building shell would help.
Okay,
Less
Maybe you can
contrast.
paint the doors. If it's already purchased.
well, the garage doors are not purchased. I mean, we can,
Oh, okay.
I can certainly do like some research and see if we can, you know, make it like cosmetic, a little nicer look for the garage doors. I mean, or either have like the same color of the building and put like some, I know that they have like different panels that we can purchase. So like just, I need to come up with like a, now understanding the concerns of the board. I mean, try to come up like with something like a little nicer for this, you know?
Did you say you could change out the front elevation of this first building by changing the wall panels? Or are they
No,
already
what I was thinking is that because, I mean, if the building, if like the color of the roof, which I think like, it's not gonna be blue. I mean, most time like the roof is like, or either just white or light gray. So we can actually build like a little parapet in front of the building. So you hide the roof up and make it like something, you know, we can make it. I mean, I have like a different building that I helped like another client put together for like a commercial garage, and we did like something similar. So when you look at the building, it's a lot nicer.
Yeah, I wouldn't add a parapet. That you got a simple gable, that's fine. But parapet,
Yeah.
you don't want to shed water towards a parapet. You know,
Yeah.
that wouldn't work.
Mm.
Okay, well, it's now 8:55 and I think two of the members have to leave for our 9 o'clock meeting. So we'll wrap this one up. Do we want to make a date and time for the next meeting to look over if you add some glass and some of the ideas that the members have brought forth? What do you think, Kathy? Or should they meet after the planning board meeting?
Well, it typically, what we try to figure out is, you know, how long, how much time does the applicant need, Amy, to like, you know, to address these issues, to add the windows, to, look at a poured foundation versus a poured apron versus the block apron. Color wise, presenting you with colors. So it's, typically we need to figure out, how much time does the applicant need for that? And then, if it's a week, if it's 2 weeks, we would need to hear from them.
Okay. Does the applicant have?
I mean, we
time?
can, I mean, we can come up with like this changes if we have like sort of just a little bit of a direction from like, the color is an issue, like we can certainly look into the windows. I mean, what do you guys want us to improve so we can produce like something that would be more interesting.
Well, I mean,
I can produce some drawings for next week, another meeting, so.
that, you know, that's all part of the process, is for you to, you know, be looking at, you know, what you see in other buildings in town, what you know, your takeaway, you know, from our industrial design guidelines, you know, and then, and you present that to the board for them to, you know, basically sort of, you know, thumb up, thumb down. But I don't want to speak for the board, but I mean, just the history of the board is, you know, they need something to react to and to review, and then provide you
Okay.
feedback on that.
All right, I mean, I'll because I mean, time is the essence in here. I mean, the Cydia and Luciano, they have like a construction, I mean, just another element to this. I mean, we have a construction loan. I think like they purchased the property last July, and the clock is ticking on their end. I mean, if they don't start building the building, they're gonna be in default. So, I mean, I will do anything I can to expedite this process. So if we can have another meeting not next Wednesday, I'll make the changes. And I'll try to send something for review prior to that by Friday.
Does that work with everyone? Or for next Wednesday?
I won't be here next week.
I can do 8 to 9 next Wednesday.
I'm the same.
Right, I can do it. One last question I have before you go is, will there be outside storage? I know you said the trucks were going to park inside. Are there going to be some trucks outside? Will there be gravel, mulch, any outside storage?
I can only, Lucia, how you guys answer that? I mean, I don't know like how they plan to use the building.
No.
Hello?
Cydia, are you there? Yep.
Yes, I'm here. So yeah, we're planning to stock, but just little things, maybe some gravel, some mulch, but not a large volume.
Okay, I know for me as a board member, if there was going to be storage of gravel and mulch, and I'd rather have that be behind the buildings than just in front, right on the roadway.
Those be on the back, right?
Yes,
I think it's hard to get to then.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the back.
yes, in the back.
How do you get to it then? Like, don't you need vehicles to drop it and pick it up there?
Yeah, so I don't have a plan to stock materials, to be honest. Just very few things, very little things. So I'm planning to put in the back and some in the front, but not a large volume.
And Amy, if I through you,
Yes,
Bob, any outside storage of materials has to be not visible from the street, correct?
That's correct.
So it either needs to be fenced in, and that's something that the design review committee would get involved with, is what kind of fence and what color fence, if you plan to do this in the front.
Yes, excuse me. So if I can't, I don't, what I said, I have another area. Then I'm planning to stock my materials in Northborough, is West 411 West Main Street. This building pretty much to put my equipment, not materials, not dirt or gravel. I have another area in Northborough. Then I pile gravel, mulch, all this kind of materials. So pretty much the building is to put equipments and tools and my trucks. That's it.
okay. All right, so it looks like for next week, they wanted to come back with colors for the roof and the doors, maybe some windows. And the poured concrete. Is there anything else that I missed?
Yeah, I would even recommend take a look at like the Hopkinton DPW barn. That's attractive. I mean, we've looked at that before for other sites. I mean, take a look at it.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Like, look at the DPW building, you said?
In Hopkinton, just take a look at it. Give you some ideas.
Oh, all right. The one on 135, the new one that they just built.
Yep,
That is a good one to look at, yeah.
that's much more attractive.
Okay.
Okay. So
Dave,
it
I think
sounds
it had an architect though.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you'll try to get the information to us ahead of time or to Kathy, and
Yes.
we'll see you back next Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. July 21st, 8 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
Amy, maybe just before, and I know Diana and David have to go, but if they want to take a look at the minutes, because you need, because if Diana and David go, I mean, again, you can do the minutes at your next meeting, but where you've got, you can't vote on the minutes, Amy, but the, other 4 members could, if you wanted to look at the main minutes, if anyone did.
I did. I didn't have any exceptions.
Sure. Did anybody else have any changes to the minutes?
I'm good.
I had none. Nope.
Okay, so does anybody have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
No,
Right.
recommend approval of the minute.
Well, I have to go, so
Okay, well,
I'll do a double motion.
Double motion. I second the double motion.
okay, so motion to approve the minutes of, I'm not sure the date because I wasn't here. The minutes of the last design review meeting have been,
I think it's, I don't have my agenda in front of me, May 6th, I think it was.
yeah, it doesn't say on the minute, on the agenda.
Hi.
All right, there is a bit of motion to approve and second the minutes, so. Do I take a roll call vote? So Diana,
Approve.
Tom, Bruce, Lisa,
I'm gonna have to abstain. I didn't actually go through them.
okay, Dave,
Approve.
okay. So 4 approve, 1 abstain. Minutes passed. And the next thing on the agenda was the update to the 2 family design guidelines, and that will be tabled to a further date.
I have a question about that because we've submitted comments already.
Yeah, and Diana, I was, Amy and I, it was crazy. It was like midnight, Amy, that we were emailing. But
Right.
I had just talked to Judy yesterday, first looking at an evening date, because I know, well, consultants typically prefer evening meetings or expect evening meetings, but she didn't have any openings until like, the end of September. And I'm like, no, we need to do this, way sooner than that. So she is sending me a couple of different dates today for, a morning meeting. So hopefully, that'll happen within the next, couple of weeks also.
I was wondering if we had to meet with her in the evening, is it okay to call an evening meeting to review the?
Well,
Okay.
we
Fine,
wouldn't be able to do it until end of September, beginning of October with her schedule. She's out every night, as most consultants are. I mean, that's just what, they work for community. So they're at meetings every single night. So that's why originally we were looking at, doing a morning meeting at 8:30. She would prefer 8:30, not 8. So.
Well, this is really just, she's taken our comments and she's providing the sort of response to the comments or.
Right.
he's blended in that information,
Right.
right?
So
So it
every,
shouldn't be a long meeting, right?
right, it shouldn't be a long meeting at all. It's, and I mean, and in the contract, we only have one meeting. And it was for her to, you know, come back, meet with the design review, go over the comments. Four out of 5 of the members, you know, provided comments to her. And so she took those comments and incorporated those into the guidelines. So, you know, there really probably isn't a heck of a lot to change. You know, I mean, that opportunity, you know, that window has passed. You know, that was about 2 months ago, that they were, you know, the guidelines were sent to the design review committee members. And then everybody had a form to fill out, that the consultant provided. And like I said, I received back, you know, 4 sets of comments, from 4 of the members. And so that went to, the consultant. And then, you know, then I sent around the guidelines last week, I think it was. So that's what Judy will be, just, you know, going over and finalizing with everybody.
As a new member, I actually found some things that I'd like to send to you, Kathy, and also to Judy. I just started reading them last week. I mean, there were some typos. There was actually a picture that I went around and I took some pictures of some really nice duplexes in Northborough. And I saw some pictures that looked very urban. And I thought it would be better to use like an encourage from a Northborough picture versus something in the city. So there were a couple of comments that I had that I'd like to send to you and Judy.
Yeah, you can definitely do that, Amy. The issue though with you, and Judy has much more experience than I, but the issue with using examples from the community that you're writing the guidelines from is there, it runs both ways. People will, some people will be happy that maybe a building of theirs is featured. Other people will be not happy that, you know, either permission wasn't sought or why wasn't their building put in, and, you know, why is their better than mine. So you typically don't use local examples. Like we stayed away from that with the master plan. And we stayed away with that with the commercial and industrial guidelines. So that's just a general rule of thumb, is because it tends to cause more concern from people.
Oh, I saw, as long as it's an encourage, not a discourage, I would think they'd like it. When I was reading the original design review guidelines, I noticed there were some buildings from Northborough. So I thought maybe we could use some and we could ask permission if
So as soon
needed.
as, you know, I'll get that date. Like I said, I'm hoping, you know, that the plan was, as of yesterday, that Judy was going to send me some dates today. So send me what you have, Amy, and then, you know, obviously I'll forward that to her.
Okay, sounds good. Is there anything else anyone has to add before we adjourn?
I'm all set. Congratulations on being chair today.
Thanks.
Bravo, brava.
It'll be a work in process. Okay,
All right.
thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Should we take Diana's motion to adjourn from before? It's 9:11. Goodbye, everybody. Do we have to vote? Do we have to vote to adjourn?
I think it was all, I mean, you should, but I thought it was all part of Diana's motion, that to approve the minutes and to adjourn.
Okay, does anyone second it?
Second, I second it.
Okay. All right, motion to adjourn.